Until the end of the Middle Ages, most of Africa's international activities and intellectual traditions were dominated by societies in the western and eastern parts of the continent. It was their envoys who visited foreign courts, and it was their chroniclers who recorded much of what we know about the history of Africa before the early modern period. In 1487, an African envoy named Kalaka Mfusu arrived in the Portuguese coastal city of Lisbon, accompanied by a large entourage. Unlike the African embassies which had been received in southern Europe before, this embassy did not travel overland to reach the Mediterranean, but had instead traveled across the Atlantic from a continent whose southern end was still unknown to their hosts. Over the following centuries, the Kingdom of Congo, which Kalaka Mfusu represented, would send dozens of embassies to the Iberian Peninsula and Italy, frequenting the cities of Lisbon and Rome, where some of Congo's elites temporarily resided. Back in Congo, an intellectual tradition emerged that facilitated the kingdom's international activities, producing a corpus of manuscripts that included everything from official correspondence to literature on theology, law, and history. Some of the manuscripts written by Congo's scribes were addressed to its international partners and were carried by its envoys to southern Europe, where they survived in archival collections of Lisbon and Rome. These manuscripts provide an important look at Congo's society as written by the Congolese and highlight the international dimension of the kingdom's history. This article explores the history of Congo's international relations and its intellectual traditions. It includes the career of one of its envoys, who also served as the kingdom's official factor agent in Portugal, perhaps the only African in this role in 16th century Europe. The ambassador Antonio Emanuele Nevunda of the Kingdom of Congo and the embassy of Hasekura Tsunenaga of Japan. Painting by Agostino Taschi, Canto 1616 in the Sala dei Corazzieri, Palazzo del Quirinale, Rome. Portrait of Dom Miguel de Castro, emissary of Congo, is a 1643 painting by the Dutch Golden Age painter Jasper or Geronimus Bex. It was earlier attributed to Albert Eckhout. Diego Bemba, a servant of Dom Miguel de Castro, Statens Museum for Kunst. Pedro Sunda, a servant of Dom Miguel de Castro, Statens Museum for Kunst.